More breaking news coming in. Around 3,000 Agnivis played an important role against Pakistan in Operation Sindoor. We understand in a release that's come out that during Operation Sindoor, 3,000 Agnivis were deployed in the Indian Army's air defense units, which gave a befitting reply to Pakistan's missile and drone attacks. Agnivis of just 20 years of age increased the strength of the army. They operated air defense systems amid missile drone attacks and played a role in 4 important areas such as gunner, fire control operator, radio operator, and heavy vehicle driving. Deployed on the Western Front amid the Indo-Pakistan tension during the 7th to 10th of May, Agniveers were critical to the success of Operation Sindoor. Now, this is significant given, of course, that this was the first major battle test of our Agniveers, which was a key reform of the Modi government. Let me bring in Pradeep Datta on that note. Pradeep, a big success for the Agniveer scheme as well, and a befitting reply to a lot of critics and cynics who were who were quite skeptical of the success of the Agniveer plan when it was introduced.
Yes, you're absolutely right. One, that they have passed first battle test with flying colors, and second, they have given not only befitting reply to the enemy, but also befitting reply to all those political party leaders who had been trying to politicize their veteran, and they were trying to politicize their appointment too, because they have proved that they had been best, and the kind of a response that they have given to Pakistan during Operation Sindoor is really commendable and worth appreciation, because it was their grit and determination. It was not only the machine, but it was man behind the machine who really did a commendable job. At a time when Pakistan was trying to penetrate into Indian airspace, many of those projectiles, drones and missiles were fired, but none of the missile or the drone was able to penetrate in the western sector. Reason being that these 3,000 Agniveers, they were there deployed like a wall. They ensured that none of these projectiles were able to enter into Indian airspace, because they were the ones who were handling that air defense system. Besides this, they were also looking after the fire operation and also communication network, because these three things are really very important. One is the communication, the second is the air defense system, because over the period of time we have seen that how the symmetric warfare has changed with the introduction of the drones and the projectiles. So in such a situation, they have done a fantastic job, and they have given a tight slap on the faces of all those people who have been saying that they will not be well trained to deal with any kind of a situation. How come you expect that within few months they will be able to deal with the enemy? They will be so battle hardened. But here they have proved everybody wrong. They have silenced their critics, and they have also silenced all those people who are trying to mislead a world with their fake narrative that Agniveer scheme is going to fail. Agniveer had been a big success. 3,000 of Agniveer, they stood like a wall on the border, tried to ensure that the Pakistan is not able to penetrate. This is one of the reasons that you must have seen not a single military installation or any of the airbase was targeted by Pakistan, while on the other hand, India was able to decimate, demolish their terror jet, as well as inflict heavy damage on their air bases too. So that way, it's a big success, and I think this is a success story that many others will try to follow, and they are the one going to inspire more and more youngsters to don uniform, so that they can also serve motherland India. They can also be the part of this Agniveer scheme. So many more will be donning uniform, and because those who were initially hesitant, but they will also come forward and be motivated and inspired enough to be part of this Agniveer scheme, so that they can also don uniform and see the tricolor fluttering and ensure to play a very important role in safety, security, and integrity of the country.
Absolutely, Pradeep. And this is not just a big success for Agniveers, but also a success as to how they've operated as well, because they have been used at very sensitive, for very sensitive roles and they were part of the air defense system, which was the biggest success story of the Indian Army during the Operation Sindoor. Just think of how encouraged, how motivated, how much the morale would have been boosted by them being literally deployed at the front lines and playing such a key role for which the nation is indebted to them.
Yes, you're absolutely right, because till date we had only been talking about the machine. We had been talking about S-400. We had been talking about other air defense systems.
Pradeep, I'm really sorry to cut you short. We have been joined by Colonel V.N. Thapar, and I'm sure we'll all like to hear what he has to say. Colonel Thapar, good morning. Thank you for speaking to Times Now. Your response to this big news that's coming in, that there were 3,000 Agniveers who played a key role during the success of Operation Sindoor. Is this not a very strong response to any criticism or cynicism that existed over the need or over the efficacy of the Agniveer program?
Certainly, because ever since this scheme was implemented, there has been controversy and there's been a lot of discussions going on. But the final test is battle. Battlefield is the final test for everything. And I think the Agniveers have come up with flying colors. So to that extent, I think the efficacy of the force on the battlefield is almost proved, and then the controversy can now rest. However, the point remains that a little more training will make them even better, because the battlefield demands will keep increasing in times to come. So it has been very good. They have proved their worth, and the scheme has come out well with flying colors, if I may say so.
Absolutely. Colonel Thapar, thank you so much for joining us with the views. We are speaking to a lot of veterans to get in their valued perspectives. Also, retired Major General S.P. Sinha is with the phone line as well on Times Now. Major General Sinha, thank you for speaking to us. Your response, your first opinions on whether this really silences and all cynicism, all criticism which existed around the Agniveer program.
This achievements contribution by Agnivis in Operation Sindoor is a big slap on those critics who were doubting the motivation level and the efficacy of the entire decision which was taken by the government. It's a big slap. They should feel ashamed. You see, we Indians are totally nationalist, and especially young boys. This decision was a win-win situation for everybody. It gave an opportunity for unemployed people who are only 10th class pass to come and earn and learn while you are earning. They were undergoing OGT, on the ground training. So therefore, after Kargil war, government had decided that the young age profile of the soldiers should be reduced if we want to fight well. And so it was a good opportunity for young people. It was good for armed forces, that we have highly motivated people coming. And those were saying that if we had that, just let them come in for 3-4 years, their motivation level will be low. Motivation level depends on the type of leadership which is existing in armed forces. We can motivate anybody. In army, even donkeys are trained to carry artillery guns. We have human beings. Donkeys are trained to carry artillery guns, and they are fully trained. They don't make any sound. When they crawl. The moment the firing takes place, they take a lying position. We can train donkeys. We can't train human beings. These people, anti-nationals, they don't know what to speak. And any good decision by the government, they have to criticize. So it's a big slap. I'm very happy that they have proved their work. And now these critics have been totally silenced. They must open their mouth only when it's required and not keep opening it.
Absolutely.
And doing all nonsense.
Thank you for your views, Major General Sinha. Let me also go across to Major General A.K. Sivach as well. Major General Sivach, it's not just the fact that these Agniveers were deployed, but they were deployed in some very critical areas in the entire operation that was Operation Sindoor. They were deployed in areas such as gunner, fire control operator, radio operator, and heavy vehicle driving. So it's not that they were included for the sake of tokenism. They actually played a concrete role in ensuring our forces counter-strike against Operation Sindoor.
No doubt. See, as far as Indian Army as a whole has done extremely well against Pakistan in this 4-day conflict. And Agniveer has also played a crucial role. They don't deny that fact. And they have shown that they are capable of fighting in all type of environment. But certainly, the performance of Agniveer has been good. So now the government must also take into consideration. You see the point, which is instead of retaining them 25%, if they can be retained more than 50%, that will be a very, very good gesture on the bravery which has been shown by Agniveer. And also that instead of 4 years, if it can be made 7 years. The point is that mainly the air defense has played a crucial role where the Agniveers have done extremely well. But 4 years is too less for a person to train and then employ it. Therefore, it should be 7 years. And as far as the vacancy of 25% should be increased to 50%, because they have performed extremely well and they will be proved to be an asset to the Indian Army. That goes without saying. And also, I'm sure the government has already taken into consideration, should Agniveer died within 4 years while fighting a war, the way we were fighting Operation Sindoor, they would have been treated exactly like the same, the way a normal soldier sacrificed his life. I think all these points are being taken by government, and overall the scheme is good, but it requires a little bit of tampering with, and by Their performance which
Absolutely.
they have shown on ground, we all are proud of them, and we always thought that Agniveer will be an asset, but slight modification will make them
So
far
you are
better.
saying that it needs a good enough plan needs to be made even better. Retired Major General P.K. Sehgal is also joining us. Major General Sehgal, would you agree with that sentiment that perhaps this is an excellent opportunity to see how the Agniveer program deals with real-time battle or combat situations, and if necessary, we can improve it even further?
Agniveer has to be improved further. I've been an absolute total opponent of this Agniveer scheme. I categorically stated that this Agniveer scheme, as envisaged today, is not the right type of scheme. It needs to be modified in a very major way. More than 25, only 25% retention is absolutely not true. They have to be retained 50% and above. All the commanders of all the detachments where these. Firstly, I'm from the Air Defence. I retired as the commandant of the Army Air Defence College, where they were all trained. And all the 3,000 Agniveers that are being referred to were all from Air Defence in the entirety. All their detachment commanders were senior people who had tons and tons of experience. They functioned very well under the guidance of these senior people. That notwithstanding, their training has been absolutely outstanding.
Okay.
They've done very well. They've proven themselves in battle. But the government needs to modify the scheme in a very major way. Their retention should be at least 50%, and other perks, etc., should be at par with the regular army. If you're not giving them perks, etc., par with the regular army, and you're not also catering for their, those who are released, their
All right.
their parallel absorption into the.
Okay, Major General P.K. Sehgal, thank you so much for joining us, as well as all the retired veterans who gave in their views on